I see people all the time post things, and criticism is just shot down by everyone on Facebook. There's no downvote button.
Mhm.
There's no thumbs down. Like that's the culture of that our generation was raised in, you know? Like, "Oh, you're doing something dumb? Well, if you don't have something nice to say, then don't say nothing at all." And maybe this is and just the nature of these different platforms. Like, so I'd say social media at this point is not an essential, but a extremely useful tool for social interaction. Meaning that you don't have to use a hammer to build a house. It's just going to be inconvenient not to. Yeah, you don't have
Yeah,
to
yeah.
use social media to have a social life. It's just going to be inconvenient not to do these. And so the tools aren't
Mhm.
bad. They're not good. They're just tools, and you can use them poorly or you can use them in a way that benefits your life. And I find that Instagram is useful for me because I'm able to only receive content from people who are very competent. So I'm surrounded by competent people all the time. They're
Yeah.
that are
It's way
way
more
better than me.
interest-based.
Yeah,
It's
and so like I'm held to the standard of these experts in these fields, and when I hear content, was like or hear their opinion on it, like, well, you have 20 years of experience in this, and this is your thing, you know,
yeah.
as opposed to like Facebook is filled with a bunch of people who think they're experts on things. And I'm just as guilty as this as anybody. Like basically I'm finding problems that I do and I'm recognizing it in the like the space around me. And I noticed that, for instance, I've been playing with Imgur a lot. And Imgur is sort of a social network, but the thing that I found that separates Imgur is that if your content's not good, and I use that vaguely, if your content's not good, it gets destroyed. Like they will rip you apart instantly. And sometimes they rip apart content that shouldn't be, occasionally, but almost all actual, pretty, I would say objectively, bad content gets destroyed, which is good.
Yeah.
And so that means, I mean, sometimes some garbage rises to the top that maybe ought not to, but in general, most of the stuff at the top is pretty good. As opposed to Facebook, like even Twitter, there's a lot of garbage content that is not able to be filtered
Yeah.
reasonably. And even a platform like TikTok does a pretty good job just by the way the platform works. Generally, good content is popular, you
Yeah,
know?
or at least I would say more than anything, things that people like. I don't know that I'd call it good content, but in terms of the
Again,
market deciding what good content
yeah,
is, then yes, I definitely agree with that. It's like any platform where what is liked the most and what is being watched the most is heralded is like that really helps the barrier of entry.
yeah. And to me, like, I really, I did a video the other day just playing guitar and I had just got out of the shower, so my hair was super flat and it looked like a mullet. I didn't really think about it, but like, they let me know in the comments that my hair looked like a mullet.
yeah.
And
Oh
so
yeah.
like, but getting that almost negative, but just real feedback is such a like as a content creator so useful, both as a content creator, but as a human. Like if I'm trying to improve like our art, our creations are that this is a reflection of who we are. And just like if we're trying to improve ourselves in a mental personal level, we need to get good feedback. We need to get good criticism. Like that is the most important thing. Like so you can know where you stand, what level you are,
Yeah.
where you stand in
Well,
whatever hierarchy. And because then you can't improve. If you think you're level 30 and you're level 2, you're never going to hit
well,
level 31
and what that
ever.
criticism does for you too is that like a lot of people, especially as we isolate more and more, not due to the coronavirus, but like just in general, as our
Yeah.
culture isolates themselves, especially like myself, like I'm a victim of this. That's why I'm talking about it. Is like, especially if you want to create something, whether it be content or a book or music or whatever. I mean, it's all content. You know, if you want to create something that other people are going to consume on any level, um, you need you get a lot farther when you bounce ideas off of other people. But a lot of us don't do that because we're afraid of the judgment that we're going to get from people. This is what's kept me from ever starting content creation. It's what's kept me from doing things when I used to be a musician. When I would have ideas, I would never bounce them off people because if I did, I was afraid that they would think it was not right. I was like so scared to just post something or jump into something that I thought I was not the expert on. Like if I didn't feel like I was the expert, if I didn't feel like I had all my words perfectly like written out in this like beautiful like college thesis format, if I didn't have this perfectly produced video, if I didn't like absolutely nail the content, then I was scared to do it. And like that's been one of the things like in creating content that I've worked on a lot lately is to just like totally fuck everyone else and everything and like listen to what people say. But like the thing is on the subject of like comments is that like a lot of times not only do we not push that content out to our friends and people around us, we don't have those people around us to to bounce back real feedback or good feedback, because a lot of our friends are not always into what we're into. A lot of our friends are
Or
not.
the this is the biggest issue I've run into is that people, they're like, "It's good." I was like, "Dude, if this was absolute garbage, would you tell me?" I don't think you would, you know? And that's well intentioned, like, they're trying to support you. I was like, "Dude, like, I want to kinda know what if nothing in this resonates, I don't wanna hear that, but I wanna hear that," you know?
Yeah.
And developing it's just this mix of, like, trying to deal with your own entitlement in the sense that you think what you do is awesome because you made it and you worked hard on it. That's not how the world works.
Well,
And go ahead.
also what people do in that situation, because I've been in that situation recently where I'm like helping a friend with their content. They're asking me like what I think of something like musically, and I always stop and I go, okay, I know that a lot of people are not going to put, it's not just that they're going to tell you it's good because they want to tell you it's good. They're also going to tell you it's good because this isn't their fault, but because they don't have the time or the care to actually sit down and think about it. They're going to look at it on a face value. So finding people that are actually going to be not only ensconced in the same culture that you are and understand your vision and then apply their criticism to your vision, it's finding people that also just have the time and sit down and do it. So like I gave a friend some feedback on some music recently, and he was like, and it was like very critical and it was like very praising, but it was also, there were a lot of critical things. And he was like, dude,
Yeah, I bet
everyone
you
just
get like
always tells me,
a list of shit too, right?
yeah, no, it was like a list of things that I loved and a list of things that I thought would help it. And it was all like, I kept it like super nice and stuff because I love it. I fucking love what he does. But like, but then he's like, dude, thank you so much. He's like, it's so nice to see like something dynamic about what I'm working on, because most people are just like, dude, it's so good. When like, he's like, I want to get better. And
Yeah.
like, and it's not, and I'm not blaming the friends that say it's good. I'm
Well, it's
saying
just
that like
it's the
finding
culture in general.
that is just so
Like,
hard.
I mean, like I say, like Facebook's a good example. If you actually, I see I see people all the time post things, and criticism is just shot down by everyone on Facebook. There's no downvote button.
Mhm.
There's no thumbs down. Like that's the culture of that our generation was raised in, you know? Like, "Oh, you're doing something dumb? Well, I'm if you don't have something nice to say, then don't say nothing at all." And to me, like learning that like this is part of like grind culture, like saying is like to me, if someone's willing to give me deep, caring criticism, that is one of the kindest and most loving things that a person can do to me. Again, I hate it. It's gonna mess up my week, but
Yeah.
like that week too,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be so like driven because I'm like the world makes a little bit more sense
And
because I was
the art
yeah,
of criticism is, there's a whole lot to that too, because a lot of people don't
sure.
know how to give criticism. So it's like,
Well, because we don't practice like it's like not a normalized idea in our culture in the sense of like okay, where's this person at? They may only be able to handle like one little like they're weak, you know, they're low like there's times where I'm like, dude, if you give me two sentences of criticism on this, I'm gonna fall apart. And they need
yeah.
to be able to like see that like, all right, well, you get one. Yeah.